You made it. You're here. You took a quick break so that you can honestly continue on your odyssey. Let's take a breath to get us back in the motion of life. Run, walk, crawl, or even dance and read with me on this odyssey. We all have one that we're all in. It's what you do with it that matters. Respectfully, welcome to Odessey, the podcast. Odessey, the podcast, is brought to you by Anchor. It's literally your one-stop shop for your podcast. You can get as creative as you want to and do whatever you would like, and it's free. It also has the creation tools within the website and the app where you can edit and splice and do whatever it is to make your episode how you want it to be. The best thing about Anchor is that it will distribute your podcast for you. So that means it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more other streaming platforms. The other best thing about Anchor is that you can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. Like I said, it's literally a one-stop shop. Get started, get yourself out there, make a podcast, download the free Anchor app, or go to anchor.fm to get started. Hey, everybody. We are here. I am here. We have all taken the time to sit down and relax and just taking a good word really quickly. So before we get started, I first want to say thank you all so much who are fucking supporting me. Y'all know I have kind of a bad mouth and I don't care. That's just who I am. But y'all are fucking supporting me and I am just so grateful. We are only at episode 4 and I have over 100 plays. That's nuts to me, y'all. I have over 100 plays with 4 episodes and I'm just so glad that I have people out here who are supporting. And I'm also so glad that I'm able to help people on their odyssey. I feel very blessed to be able to share my words, share my thoughts, share some wisdom that I do have and give it to you guys who need it. So I really appreciate everybody who has continued to listen, shared, comment, leave a review. Don't stop. You know what I'm saying? Don't stop. So I so thankful for you guys and just appreciate all the love, the text messages that I am receiving where people are letting me know what my words have done to help them. It just feels amazing. And I did not know and did not think that Odessey would do this. So this is only the very beginning, and I appreciate you guys so much for just walking along with me on this odyssey. And I appreciate you for allowing me in your space to walk with you along in your odyssey, and just help you throughout the way because I know what it feels like. I know what it is. And y'all know it's from one creative to another. So I appreciate you all so much. Let's go ahead and get right into it. So this week's affirmation is stop trying to be and just be. Again, stop trying to be and just be. And so now that I know that you guys are also listening to this podcast to get your weeks started, I think this is a great affirmation that can get you through to just stop overthinking sometimes. So in a nutshell, stop trying to be and just be is this feeling of just being and not trying to do too much or do too little. A lot of times people will say, be mindful, be present, be aware, or stop and smell the roses. That is all the same of just being. So I challenge everybody to stop trying to be and just be. And I think when we come in a space of just being, it allows us to fall into place of our most authentic selves. And it allows us to really walk in a space of who we really are. And as creatives, it allows us to really express ourselves and not thinking too much or thinking too little, and literally just living in the moment of wherever you are. And this is, doesn't matter what you do. Doesn't matter if you have a 9 to 5 job. Doesn't matter if you are an artist, a singer, a writer, any of that. Because when we're in those particular fields, sometimes we try to be what we think or what we expect from that particular field of job, if that makes sense. So basically, like, if you're an artist and you see another artist doing this type of work, this type of flow, this type of art, this type of color, and you start comparing yourselves to them, stop. Their journey is not your journey. Their odyssey is not your odyssey. So stop trying to be them and just be you. So when we look at this particular affirmation in the creative space and how it affects us, it really is a challenge. Like, we challenge ourselves when trying to be somebody else, and it interrupts our real authentic creativeness because you're not walking in your own personal space. You then begin to try to be somebody else that you may see on social media, or your cousin or your best friend or another friend. You try to be them and you try to keep up with what you think everybody else likes. But I promise you, whoever you are and whatever you are doing, people will love that. People will appreciate that. And we sometimes miss out on ourselves or certain opportunities when we try to be too much or too be little. And when you constantly try to do something, it is just a problem, and it creates anxiety within our craft and our creativity and just really who we are, because you begin to overthink. And I don't know about you guys, but I am personally an overthinker. My partner continues to tell me to stop overthinking. And I feel like I've been told that a lot. And it is something very hard for me to do. But when I say this affirmation to myself, stop trying to be and just be, it reels me back in and grounds me back to a space of Desiree or Des, relax. Because that's how this affirmation actually came up. It came up in a sense of sometime in December, I was actually meditating, and it was right before Odessey was going to drop. And I was just thinking of how am I going to do this? What should this look like? What kind of girl do I want to be? What kind of space do I want to be in? Because this is a mindful space. This is a self-care space. This is a safe space. And I actually follow a lot of other people who are in this space. And I started to be like, well, maybe what if I do what she does? Or what if I do what he does? Or maybe if I present myself this way. And then on top of the fact that I'm also a radio personality, I'm also a publicist, and I just also just work in radio in general. And I do a lot of stuff. And I kept trying to think, how do I showcase this? How can I do this? Well, let me try. Let me look at what this person does. Maybe I can do that. Look at how their social media looks. Look at the aesthetics of their social media. Maybe I can do it that way. And it was such a challenge to me. Like, I kept challenging myself, but in reality, I was really stopping myself for being at my personal full potential. I kept looking at what everybody else was doing and starting to compare or trying to see if maybe that would fit for me. But in reality, it doesn't. And I had to really take a step back and be like, stop trying to be something that you're not and just be. And honestly, when I sat in that space, everything else started to just come. Everything else just started to come, y'all. When I stopped overthinking it, when I was no longer looking at what was around me, who was around me, what my timeline looked like, what my videos should look like, what my content should look like, all the other things that meant something to me actually started to come, and it made sense. Because when I first came up with the idea of Odessey, I knew this is what I wanted to do, but also because I do a lot of other things, I kept praying for authenticity. Please, God, allow me to showcase myself the best way that I can without me losing my authenticity. Literally, that was my prayer. And so it took me a while to get to a space of where I'm at now, but it came because I stopped trying to be like anybody else, and I just continued to be Des. And so when you look at that, it's a great example of how it just how it just affects your creative ability and where you are as a person and how you're supposed to move and how you're supposed to go and how you are supposed to showcase your craft or how you're supposed to showcase what it is that you're supposed to bring to the world. Because what Tommy brings isn't what Bianca is going to bring, or what Jessica brings isn't going to be what Daniel brings. So everybody brings their own thing to the table. So you have to stop trying to be and just be. And it sometimes may be hard to be in that space of just being. Because I think when we think of just being, it means sitting still, and it means being quiet, and it means being in a space that a lot of us are uncomfortable with, and that means being with ourselves. We do go on a trip every single day within our mental, within our emotional, within our physical, spiritual body, right? Every day we're busy. Sometimes we're so busy that we don't even have time to think. Or sometimes we're so busy, all we do is overthink. But sitting in a space of just being will allow you to calm your mind, calm your emotions, and figure things out in your head. For me personally, when I get into a space of just being, it is me being able to categorize the things that I am going through or the things that I am trying to do. Just being can help you organize certain things within your mind, especially if it's like a clusterfuck in there. And a lot of times we have a clusterfuck of a mind. And if you can just sit down and feel through what it is that you want to do without looking at anybody else, I promise you, you will feel so much better walking in that space. You will feel so much better being able to give the world what it is that you want to give them, because it's coming from you, from just being you. You're not anybody else. You never will be anybody else. And that's not on a negative note. That's on a positive one, and encouraging everyone who is listening to this podcast to just be. Fuck what you see on social media. Fuck what you see around you. Instead of trying to be like them, allow them to be your inspiration. Allow them to motivate you to be your best self. But don't ever sit here and compare your Odessey to somebody else's Odessey and trying to uphold and be like them. Because nobody is watching your life but you. Nobody has control over your life but you. Nobody has control over your craft, over your creativeness, over your art but you. So in the same sense, as I'm speaking this, I just feel the space to say, don't rush it either. Do not rush your craft. Trusting the struggle is a real thing. Trusting your Odessey is a real thing. And everything kind of falls into the place of, let's remember what episode 1 was. What I want wants me. So everything falls into the place of what I want wants me. So stop trying to be and just be. I really want you guys to walk away this week and walk away from this podcast with this affirmation so it can take away any type of worry or any stress that may come onto you when you begin to compare yourself to other people out there. Because let's be real, we do it. We live in a world of our phones and it's just seeing everything that everybody else is doing. And it may be good, but your time is going to come. Your time is going to come. So stop trying to be and just be. I want everybody to write this down, post it on a tweet, post it on Instagram, whatever it is, so that you can continue to remind yourself. Put it at your computer desk because that is where we get the most overwhelming feeling of worry or anxiety is when we're at our desk and we're at our computers working, or maybe when we're scrolling on the phone. Write it down, y'all, and feel free to repeat. Stop trying to be and just be. I hope everybody is able to resonate with this. I hope you're able to find a space in these words, in this affirmation, and allow it to help you through your week and begin your week off on a positive way and thinking about you, your mental, your emotional, your physical, your spiritual being. Don't look at anybody that's around you. Only look at them for inspiration and motivation. But don't look at anybody else around you trying to be like them. Their odyssey is not your odyssey. So stop trying to be and just be. Simple. Sounds simple. Let me take that back. I ain't even gonna play myself. It sounds simple. Those little words, they sound very simple, but it's probably one of the hardest things, if I'm being honest. So I challenge everybody, stop trying to be and just be. Thank you all so much for continuing to listen, share, and love on me as I love on you. I appreciate it so much. Please screenshot this, tag me, share. If you feel like these words are good and you want to share it to your friend, I promise you it's going to hit. It'll hit. So I love y'all so much. Thank you so much for being here. I hope the rest of your day or your week is just productive. And I hope that you're able to just practice as much self-care and mindfulness as you possibly can, because we only have one life. So stop trying to be and just be. This is Des on Odessey, the podcast. Feel free to follow me on all platforms at DeseyT, DESIITEE. Hit me up, DM me, tag me, any of those things. Message me if you want to take this word a little further. I'm here to be a listening ear first before I give any thoughts moving forward. So if anybody just wants to talk, I'm here and I love y'all. Thank you so much. Let's keep pushing this thing. Odessey, the podcast.